Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's GeneralTarheel bringing you the APA Showdown Season 9, a Week 3 battle versus Coach Miticus and the Boston Beedrills. Coming into Week 3, we did pick up a very close win last week versus Coach Phantom based in the New York Cosmogs. Make sure to check that out if you haven't yet. But as for Week 3, as we are battling Miticus, he is 1-1, just like we are, hoping to start up a win streak after our one last week. As for Miticus' roster, which I will throw on the screen right now, we do see his Uber is Naganadel. Then he has Suicune, Ferrothorn, Embor, Diggersby, Mandibuzz, Frostlass, Meloetta, Golisopod, Diancie, and Luxray. Now, as for that roster, Naganadel cannot use Z moves, but he is still a very strong sweeper. He does have Beast Boost, but he can't really get the special attack boost unless he's Scarf Monist, because he does have to run Timid in order to outspeed my Dugtrio by 1 point. As for Suicune, it is a very bulky water that goes very well with his Grass and Steel Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn can easily get up Stealth Rocks and Spikes versus my team and can be a nuisance. Embor and Diggersby are both very strong, hard-hitting, and it's kind of hard to prep for them defensively. Didn't even actually aim for it, to be completely honest. And he is more bulk and hazard removal and Mandibuzz. Frostlass, which is another Spikes user. Meloetta, which is a nice Psychic with good Speed F. And then we have Golisopod, which is a good Spike and Priority user. Diancie with overall bulk and more rocks. And then Luxray for possible Guts wall breaking. So when looking at Miticus' overall draft, he does have his only form of potential sweep, in my personal opinion, is Naganadel. I don't think he has any other way of sweeping besides. Oh, he also has Calm Mind Meloetta, which is a possibility. But those are his only two forms of sweeping. He has very good bulk, but his bulk is also somewhat free setup for majority of the part. He does have wall breakers and Embor and Diggersby though, so it's very tough. Luxray is decently hard hitting as well, but not as strong as those two. He has 4 Spikes users, which is actually ridiculous. He has Ferrothorn, Diggersby, Frostlass, and Golisopod. Some teams are lucky to even get 1 Spike setter, so that's kind of crazy. But since he does not have any Rapid Spin, it's kind of unfortunate if he does Hazard Stack, because if rocks get annoying for his team, which they aren't too much, but if they can get annoying, then that will really suck for him, because he might have to defog them away. But also, his only form of hazard removal is Mandibuzz. I don't believe he has. Nope, he doesn't have any other form of hazard removal. None on the team gets it. So when I was looking at this, I needed an answer to Calm Mind Suicune, and of course an answer to Naganadel. I didn't really have the best of answers for Embor and Diggersby, so besides those 2 checks I needed, I really just wanted to go on the offensive. First up is Rayquaza, which had the best matchup so far for Rayquaza. His team dies to +2 easy, so I ran Rayquaza with Life Orb. I had Swords Dance, Extreme Speed, Dragon Ascent, Iron Head, and Extreme Speed. Swords Dance, Extreme Speed, Dragon Ascent, and Iron Head, yes. I had to run Iron Head just in case the Diancie was Babiri Berry, because +2 Iron Head always for sure killed a max defensive Diancie with Babiri Berry. I couldn't afford to run Earthquake just for that reason, even though it would allow me to hit the Luxray. So this Rayquaza set simply just couldn't hit Frostlass and Luxray. Luxray was only going to be a problem if it was an Intimidate Luxray, however. Next up is Infernape. This was a Nasty Plot Infernape. I had Nasty Plot, Fire Blast, Vacuum Wave, and Focus Splash with the Fight Z. It could really break apart his team, considering I know Miticus would probably just assume Infernape is going to be physical this game, so I felt like Special could really capitalize on him. Plus the Vacuum Wave gave me a check to Diggersby in case it was possible Scarf. Even though this can't really touch Naganadel, it could easily destroy the rest of his team. And I was just hoping to trap Naganadel with Dugtrio, so this way Infernape could put some work in. Next up is Reuniclus. This was an Assault Vest Reuniclus. I had HP with some Speed F, but enough special attack to get for sure KOs or 2-hit KOs on a few things. I had Psyshock, Thunder, Flash Cannon, and Shadow Ball, I believe. I think that was my last move. Maybe not. Either way, Reuniclus was basically there just to take hits from the Naganadel as well as Meloetta. Even though I can't do much damage back to Meloetta and I'm actually setup fodder, it was still important for me to be able to take it on. Oh, false. Last move was not Shadow Ball, it was Hidden Power Fire for Ferrothorn. And I just take a hit from Naganadel at +2 Life Orb if he's timid. I can take a Draco Meteor from that, and then I can kill it with Psyshock right back if I'm at full. So I am the Assault Vest regen set, I am not Magic Guard. So I was made sure that I could live, oh, it was a roll to live after, rocks with the +2 Draco, but I felt like it was more needed to make sure I can knock out certain things and stuff like that, so Reuniclus was still going to do its job no matter what. Next up is Blastoise. This is a really interesting set. I had to run a decent amount of speed on my Mega Blastoise to outspeed the Suicune, just to ensure that I could get a roar off of it before it can, just in case for any shenanigans like that. Even though if he was Calm Mind plus Roar, he could really just PP stall me. I didn't see him winning with that combination, because then he had to be rested for 2 turns, and I could easily take care of that. But as for the Mega Blastoise, it had Scald, Roar, Rapid Spin, and Aura Sphere. I couldn't hit the Naganadel once again, but it was perfectly fine. I wanted to be able to hit the Ferrothorn and get off damage I needed. Scald hit majority of his team as well, so that seemed like it was a solid check. And I needed Rapid Spin just because of his multiple hazard possibilities with spikes and then stealth rocks. Next up, we have Dugtrio, Focus Sash with standard set with Earthquake, Stealth Rocks, Sucker Punch, and Pursuit. Now I brought this just to, of course, trap Naganadel if I can with the Sash. I live any hit and I can just take it out, easy peasy. I can also trap anything else if they're already low. Gets me up Stealth Rocks, and then mainly the Frostlass. I can go for a Pursuit on the Frostlass if he wants to switch out, because Ghosts are free to switch out for Dugtrio. But there's a chance that Miticus forgot that, so I did also have Sucker Punch, because Pursuit and a Sucker Punch for sure killed Frostlass. So that was the only reason I brought that combination. I really did want to bring Screech, but I felt like getting rid of Frostlass was important, because there was no way he wasn't going to bring it, in my opinion. And it was the just about the only thing really stopping Rayquaza. Intimidate Luxray could slow me down, but I wasn't as worried about that as I was Frostlass for the possible sweep with Ray. And then lastly, we have Magneton. This was an Eviolite set with max special attack, and then I you know, EV'd around the bulk where it was needed. I had Magnet Rise, Thunderbolt, Flash Cannon, Hindepower Fire. This was Magnet Pull to trap Ferrothorn. This was mainly just to be a nuisance to his team and had a really good matchup. I opted to bring Magnet Rise and Revolt Switch just because if Diggersby came, it just about picked up a kill every single time. My Blastoise was not a switch-in, and it was really just going to be an issue. So if he had Diggersby, I was going to hopefully assume he'd be going into Diggersby, and then I click a Magnet Rise, because if he's offensive Diggersby, he outspeeds Magneton 1,000,000%, and he has no reason not to outspeed Magneton, so I would have to predict the Magnet Rise on switch-in, but it also helps me for a few shenanigans he could do, like Bulldoze, Ferrothorn, and stuff like that. So as we get into the battle here, I did just notice Magneton's amazing matchup. His really only switch-in is the Luxray. He could also go Naganadel, but that is so much unnecessary damage on Naganadel that it is not a switch-in. So as we start off this battle, I do lead my Magneton as he leads Luxray, the 1 counter. So I am going to go into Reuniclus here, scouting for the Guts Superpower. As he goes for the Volt Switch, gets a crit, does not matter. He goes into Suicune here. I'm just going to go right out into my Blastoise. As he goes for Scald here, I'm just going to Mega Evolve and Scald here to see if he is considering 1v1ing my Blastoise. As he does, and he just goes for Scald. Still no burns on either side. I'm going to go into my Magneton here because I can 2-shot him with Thunderbolt after a Calm Mind. He just goes right into Ferrothorn. I asked Miticus about this later on, and as soon as he clicked it, he remembered Magnet Pull, and it upset him. So I'm just going to go for Hindepower Fire. I didn't feel like going for Magnet Rise, because I could eat the Bulldoze if I needed to. But I went for Magnet Rise here for the Diancie, because I did not know why he went to Diancie versus a Magneton. But once again, Miticus told me after that was actually a complete misclick. He meant to click Luxray. He could have still switched out. I don't know why he stayed in. But either way, we go ahead and knock out the Diancie there. And then he is going to make a nice double, actually, into Frostlass as I go Reuniclus. But I am Assault Vest, so I absolutely eat the Shadow Ball. And I'm going to go ahead and go for the Flash Cannon and bring this down to 16%. So at this way, it can go down to Stealth Rocks if I manage to get that off. As he goes for Destiny Bond with his Frostlass when I switched out into my Magneton. This is a free Thunderbolt right here, no reason not to click it. And then he goes to Suicune on my switching into Reuniclus. I do have Thunder on Reuniclus, but I am not risking it unless I need to, because I have Magneton right here. It can easily get off damage. And as he goes into Luxray, as my Magneton is, I'm just still clicking Thunderbolt. That Luxray is close to going down to 1 Thunderbolt. If I can get up rocks, then he's no longer switching to Magneton, which is very important. He Volt switches on my Reuniclus. That was very smart. I'm just going to go right back out into Magneton. He can make all these switches, but as long as there's no hazards on my side of the field, I really don't mind making the switch. He goes Naganadel on my Thunderbolt, which is very risky, because if he got parried, that was not going to benefit him at all. But I am going to Reuniclus 1,000,000% here, as he goes for Dragon Tail, which is an interesting check, but it does not help him as he goes into Dugtrio. So he trapped himself here, which was very unlucky, and I'm just going to go for Earthquake and take out this Naganadel. As he goes into Suicune here, I know there's a chance he's just going to set up, but I'm going to go for Stealth Rocks and Taste. He just goes for a Scald and knocks me out. But at this point, I'm just going to go hard into my Blastoise, as I know he's just going to Calm Mind up over and over again. And I'm going to click Roar with my Blastoise. If we get in the Froslass, it will die to Rocks, which we do. And if it went into Luxray, then it was in range of a Thunderbolt, so I was fine with either. So I'm going to make the swap into Reuniclus here, which is a perfectly fine play, as he goes for Ice Fang. And as he goes for Ice Fang again, he does freeze my Reuniclus, but I'm like, this is perfectly fine. I'm going to go into Infernape here. I can eat any hit that he could possibly go for, but it does seem like he's actually locked into Ice Fang. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Vacuum Wave here in case he decides to stay in. And I'm going to Nasty Plot up on this Suicune because I do eat a Scald from full. And if he does opt to just go for the Calm Mind, then I get all the damage off necessary just for Magneton to sweep. As I go for the all-out pummeling, and he ended up Calm Minding again anyways, assuming Infernape wasn't going to do anything to Suicune. So then Infernape's just going to clean up here with Mach Punches and finish off the game. So this was a nice 6-0 versus Miticus, but I am actually very upset that Rayquaza didn't do anything. I couldn't do anything until that stupid Froslass was gone, and then he sacked half his team before I could even get to the Froslass, and the Intimidate Luxray was still in the back, so shenanigans, dude. Hopefully Rayquaza gets some kills eventually, because this was probably the best matchup. It was just that one stupid Froslass, but it's perfectly fine. Infernape picked up a few kills, Magneton got 2 kills, which is nice, and then Dugtrio picked up 1 on Naganadel. So definitely a solid game. Looking forward to next week. Not sure who we play just yet, but make sure to check it out no matter what. Check out SDL, and then also check out for a possible announcement coming soon for future leagues. That'll be it for me this week. Make sure to sub, like, share, deuces.